Hello everybody, and welcome to a Core Set 2021 draft here on the channel. Before I dive in, I do want to remind you that if you enjoy the video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment in the comment section down below with any questions or feedback. You can catch me streaming live at twitch.tv/NicolaiBolas, and be sure to hit that bell on the YouTube channel so you don't miss any future videos. There's a viewer of mine that has Katana in their name. I wonder if this is the same one. You never know. Well, we have opened up Season to Hallowblade, which is an absolutely fantastic common. It just kind of carries you to victory when you play it. I think it's like a slam dunk first pick out of most packs. There are rares I would take over it, but this card is absolutely fantastic and is better than most rares in the set. Definitely better than Thieves Guild Enforcer, which isn't completely unplayable. In the mid game, it will be a pretty decent threat. It can like flash in on blocks and kill anything if it has death touch, but most of the time going to be pretty mediocre to bad, so I don't prioritize it. I've been pretty unimpressed with Fungal Rebirth. I just think it's a little bit too slow to get the job done, and it's kind of clunky because you really don't want to just cast this without the 1/1s. Wizardry is pretty nice. I think my next pick out of this pack would actually be Warden of Woods. That's a pretty nice top end card. Then I think Wizardry. Then maybe like Charger. Starting things off with Hallowblade is quite nice. Following it up, Mazemind Tome can do a ton of good work. Soul Seer is also an excellent card. I don't like Swift Response as a follow-up because Hallowblade generally does best in a beatdown deck, and Swift Response doesn't really help with that. I do like that Mazemind Tome gets you fuel to consistently discard stuff to your Hallowblade. Let's see. So I think it's between the Soul Seer and the Mazemind Tome. I've been pretty impressed by Mazemind Tome, but I do think that going into a red-white aggro deck, you wouldn't really want the Mazemind Tome as much. I wonder what they took over. They took a common. What common do you take over Mazemind Tome and Soul Seer? I don't think I'd take any commons over Soul Seer, so I think I want to take the Mazemind. I'm gonna take the Mazemind Tome. It just leads to a lot of like really good gameplay. You can get the life gain going, and now there is a Soul Seer in this pack. I think we'll take that one. We're getting some nice red signals. Feat of Resistance is really good with Hallowblade, but we're seeing a third pick Soul Seer, and I think we'll be fine combining these cards. Waker of Waves is a pet card of mine, but I don't really want to draft blue-white, and I think we are seeing a red signal, getting 2 Soul Seers in a row. There's also a Shock. Feat of Resistance being in the pack would go well with Hallowblade, but at this point I think red is looking pretty open. So we'll try to go that direction. And now there's a Riddle form. We could go red-blue. We do have Mazemind Tome, which does go pretty well in red-blue. Fuels your stuff, fuels your non-creature stuff like Riddle form. So I think we'll take the Riddle form over the Stitcher, the Hovel Fiend. Just these random cards. We can just abandon the white card that we have. And now there's an Opt. I like Opt more than Thallid and Capture Sphere when I have a Riddle form and a Soul Seer, because this looks like I can go towards a red-blue spells deck. I'm actually pretty happy with the Mazemind Tome pickup. I think if I knew that I was going to specifically end up in red-blue spells, I would rather have a Soul Seer. But considering that I started with a white card, Mazemind Tome was going to be able to make most of my decks, and it's just a very nice card draw engine. So here we're going to take the Opt over the Capture Sphere, because it is a really important card for red-blue. And now we'll take a Frantic Inventory over an Unsubstantiate and a Mistral Singer. I like getting access to that. It's definitely better than a Thrill of Possibility. Unsubstantiate can be pretty solid, and Mistral Singer can be good as well. But if we get enough spells payoffs, we're going to be pretty happy that we get these Frantic Inventories. And now a second Frantic Inventory really paid off here. Blue is looking wildly open. Kraken is a bit more expensive. Hopefully we can get Spellgorger Weird. That is the card I'm most hoping to get. Turret Ogre can be okay. Wall of Runes, if we end up in a more controlling deck, can definitely be solid, because we can just make up for the potential card disadvantage of Wall of Runes with Mazemind Tome and Frantic Inventory to just draw cards. So far, so good. And Vidalian Arcanist can similarly do a lot of good work, especially if we get some more expensive card draw, or just spells in general. It's looking like we're a more controlling version at the moment. We also aren't 0% to be a white deck, but at this point we're hoping to be a red deck because Riddle Form mostly works in a red deck. The cantrips works best in red decks. We could take Turret Ogre or just a Revitalize in case we do end up in that direction, or we could just take Skeleton Archer and leave ourselves open to playing blue-black, so I like that option. We'll take the Sanctum over the Wall of Runes. If we do get a blue Sanctum, we could play both Sanctums and have it be okay. Hello, Antonio. We'll pass these black cards. We don't really mind. So I will say white did not look very open at all. Late Thrill. I think we're pretty much settled into red-blue at this point. We do want some threats. Some Spellgorger Weirds would be nice and would go a long way. This would be a fantastic Goblin Wizardry deck. The one that we opened didn't wheel, but that's okay. I have not Bone Ash, and I don't really plan on it. I think the Tome versus the Seer was still an interesting pick, but I think I like the Tome. Okay, and now we can take a second Riddle Form. This card is just great. Doesn't work as well in a more controlling version, but it's still just a great card. It's just not really the type of format that appeals to me, Bone Ash. It's just like I feel like the card power level discrepancy is relatively high. I looked through the spoiler today, and there are definitely some sweet cards, but not really my cup of tea. You're just going to take the Riddle Form here. After that, I think I would take the Swiftwater Cliffs just to make my mana better over Keen Glidemaster. Siege Striker's a pretty good card, but I don't think we're going to move into white considering how cut it was pack 1. Okay, now this is interesting because Experimental Overload is fantastic, but you really need to make sure you get Scorching Dragonfires, and we don't really have any cheap interaction right now. I was actually listening to the most recent episode of Limited Resources, and they said that, and LSV was talking about Scorching Dragonfire just being better than Experimental Overload in the early stages, because you need to make sure you get like these cheap cards so you can take over with your late game engines, like your card draw and stuff like that. And Experimental Overload gets a lot worse when you have fewer things to get back. So I think for that reason, we're going to take the Scorching Dragonfire. Because we just need to make sure we don't fall too far behind. Also, if there's another blue-red drafter, they'll probably take the Overload, and then we'll get a Goblin Wizardry. Yeah, I don't think either is very likely to wheel, though. Here, we're going to take another Crash Through. We still want the spells payoffs for our Riddle Forms and things like that. I do like Overload a lot, but you really need to make sure you get those Scorching Dragonfires so you don't fall behind. Rousing Reed's also a good card, but not really for this deck where we have no stuff to jump at the moment. Okay, we don't want Miscast. Havoc Jester can be okay. It's just a 5-mana 5/5. It also does have some minor synergy with Maze Mind Tome. Niambi's okay. We're probably not going to play the Havoc Jester, but we'll still take it. There's a Thrill of Possibility. There is a Lofty Denial. Scorching can be backbreaking even later in the game. Oh, there's definitely another Izzet player at the table. I would never expect there to be just one Izzet player. That just makes no sense to me. I'm going to take the Lofty Denial. I don't think we want the Turret Ogre. And having stuff to do on turn 2 is nice. We also have a lot of instant speed stuff, so one Lofty Denial. Probably pretty active in our deck, we'll say. I'll take the Turret Ogre now over Battle Rattle. We don't have a ton of creatures. Booyah, this is perfect. We really wanted Goblin Wizardry and we got it. We have so many cantrips. This card is fantastic in our deck. I would play like a ton of them. Oh yes, late Experimental Overload. It gets so much better now that we have Scorching Dragonfire because we can go Scorching Dragonfire's thing. Like we can go like Opt, Scorching Dragonfire, 3-drop, Experimental Overload, get back Scorching Dragonfire, which is a huge swing. Really, this deck is coming together incredibly well. And now we even get the land to make our mana more consistent. When you have a couple cantrips and a dual land, you can cut a land, which is really nice. We're going to get rid of this Sanctum, I think. Unless we get the blue Sanctum, then we'll add it back. This is really coming together nicely. I want to swing from the Overload Chandelier. Okay. Heck yes, chat. Heck yes. I clearly know what I'm doing. Let's go. Let's go. Our deck is unreal. What can I say? Oh, yes. We did it. We wheeled the experimental overload. We weren't even being greedy. I think Scorching Dragonfire was just better for us at that particular time, but then we wheeled the overload. Oh my gosh. Luck is when preparation meets opportunity. We don't mind passing a last pick white card, because we are not playing white, so we don't mind if we put them into white. Cha-ching! Another Scorching Dragonfire. The Temple of Epiphany might even wheel. We now have 2 Scorchings and a Soul Seer for early interaction. I would love another piece like a Shock, but I guess there's not another Izzet player. Either that, or the Izzet player took Goblin Wizardry over it, because the Goblin Wizardry that was in that pack didn't wheel. So maybe they were a different color combination and they just took Wizardries, like they're a white-red deck or something that wanted Wizardry. But clear Scorching Dragonfire here over Shock. Well, when I thought I was playing the Wall of Runes, my deck was configured a little bit differently, so I'm not sure I'm still playing it. We don't need Hellkite Punisher. We have a lot of ways to get rid of extra lands. We could play a Teferi's Protege. I think since we already have a tap land, we don't want to play an off-color Scry land. Let's just look at our curve. Yeah, we don't mind another 3-drop. We don't really need the Arcanist. We have a ton of 2-drops already. And we don't have a lot to spend the mana on. And the Arcanist is probably going to wheel. I kind of want another Lofty Denial, because I do have these 2 Riddle forms that it works with. And with Experimental Overload, I just like having a lot of instants and sorceries. I don't really like the Arcanist. I really don't like Igneous Cur. We could take a Thrill. I think this is probably going to wheel. I don't like Larcenist. This pack hasn't been insanely good to us or anything. We're not looking for these black cards. We'll just take a Glide Master. As actually, we could take a Read the Tides. I wouldn't mind that. It is an expensive spell, but it's a pretty solid one if you have a couple of Arcanists or things like that. And now there's a Hobble Fiend. There's also a Tome Anima, which isn't the worst, honestly. I've like done some decent stuff, just chipping in for 3 every turn. It should wheel though. Let's see what we are working with here. We don't have enough. We don't have a ton of 2-drops. We have some. I don't think we want multiple Read the Tides, but we could take it and then see if we wheel the all of the Arcanists. Getting a Shock is a oh wait, there's another Overload. Shock versus Overload is close versus Inventory. I think we're just going to take an Overload. Overload's going to be great. The Shock that we opened might wheel. Very unlikely, but it could. This pack was honestly so good. Like, the last pack had Read the Tides and nothing else, but this pack has Overload, Crash Through, Shock, and Frantic Inventory. And we'd be happy with any of those cards. But we're just going to take another Overload. Turn to Slag, I don't mind running 1 copy of. And Sure Strike, not really what we're looking for. We didn't get a single Spellgorger Weird, which is a little bit unfortunate. Yeah, Inventory is very good at 3 copies, but we have a bunch of... we just need ways to win the game, and Overload is that way. Okay, we're going to just maybe add this wall. Probably not going to play it. Another Thrill of possibility. Don't want the Sanctum. Vidalian Arcanist. This is a weird deck. We have a lot of like cheap interaction. We didn't get any Spellgorger Weirds to help us win the game, which is unfortunate. But we have these 3 guys, which will hopefully do good work. It was a little bit unfortunate that all of the good cards were in that one pack. Like the third Frantic Inventory being in that pack in particular was a bit of a bummer. But I think we'll still be fine. We have Riddle Forms to win us the game. Oh yeah, thank goodness it defaulted to these lands, so I finally don't have to like auto change my lands every time. Okay, so we can probably cut some of our clunkier cards. We have Frantic Inventory for card draw. We have Experimental Overload for card draw. This is card draw. This is card draw. With 2 Arcanists, I think I could play justify playing 2 of these even. I think I can cut this guy. I can cut this guy because I do have 3 overloads. I can cut the Onake Ogre. I can probably cut a Wall of Runes. I can probably cut a Read the Tides, and I can probably cut an Arcanist and a Lofty Denial. I'm never going to flood out with 3 Thrills. And I like having ways to just churn through my deck. I could also cut Read the Tides. Because it is expensive and I can kind of get rid of all my lands at my leisure. I probably could go for 16 lands, but with 3 Thrills, it's so unlikely that I flood out. And my deck is so good that I don't want to like stumble, if that makes sense. Like if my deck was a little bit weaker, I could like afford to cut a land and be like, okay, maybe I'll have to make sure I just win a late game top deck war a little bit easier. But I think I'm strong enough in the late game that I don't have to worry about that, because this card's just going to be huge. Like look how many Instant Sorcerers I have. I have 17, so it's just going to be massive. So should be a pretty good deck here. Arcanist is actually pretty good in this deck, so maybe I'd rather have that than the last Lofty Denial. Or maybe over Wall of Runes. Because I can actually use the mana pretty well. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, that's going to do it for the build, and I'll see you folks in the matches. Before I get to the matches, I want to give a huge shout out to all of my patrons over at patreon.com/NicolaiBolas, especially those who support me at the credits level. I really appreciate the support, and thank you so much for helping me continue to produce high quality content on a consistent basis. It really does help me out a ton, and if you'd like more information about what it means to become a patron and the cool rewards you get as my way of saying thank you, you can find that information at patreon.com/NicolaiBolas. Without further ado though, let's get to the matches. And welcome to round 1, keeping this hand pretty clearly. Nice little 2-drop. Unfortunately, we are going to have to play this on turn 3. Or maybe we'll even ditch it to our Thriller possibility if we really need lands. So that's less likely, because we could go Crash through and then Vidalian Arcanist mana. But this hand is good for sure. I'm glad we have the Arcanist over the wall, of Runes. Because we actually do use the mana pretty well. Okay. We're just going to get this thing down and play Crash through. Okay, now that we know we have a land, we're chilling. Definitely not going to just scry with that. Yeah, it's been fun. We'll hold up the option of going Soul Seer plus Opt. Like if they put a dub on this or something. But for now, we'll just take 3. We have 2 different Scorching Dragonfires that can do good work to this. These lands do look nice. Okay, so I think we want to Maze Mine Tome first. And then we'll thrill away our other land. Perfect. So I think we'll just Scorching this. And we'll do it now, because we don't want them to have feeder resistance. It's a little bit annoying if they have village rights, but for now we'll just chill. And we could have thrilled away something that wasn't a land. Well, Vito has to die. Okay, the fact that they tapped out of their mana is a good sign. We're just going to keep using our Maze Mind Tome, I think. Though I do want to get more spells into the graveyard. So maybe I should just use that so I can have the biggest overload possible. Like I could thrill away a Frantic Inventory. Okay. So we could do that, or we could just thrill away Frantic Inventory. I like keeping Thrill as flood insurance, so let's just... This will be a 5/5. Which is important, it gets us out of grasp range. Perfecto. So we're going to keep playing the land, so we can go opt, experimental overload back something. I think we're going to want to experimental overload back the wizardry. I'm not going to block. I should have waited on that. I'm going to gain 4 life with this, so I'm not as worried about my life total. Okay. Now we're going to go for it. Beta resistance. Village rights, okay. I should have played the opt first. It would have given me more information as well. Because then I would have had this thing be 1 bigger. Yep, definitely keeping that one. Sure. So there was a slight misplay. This thing could be a 7/7 right now. I'm gonna just probably kill this. So we can overload back a Soul Seer to kill that. I think that's gonna be good. I can always activate this to gain 4 life. Oh, I got 3 of them, Gahitsu. The one wheeled. Oh yeah, I got the win. Let's go. Pretty exciting stuff. 2, keeping this hand pretty clearly. Yeah, we have double riddle form. We're almost certainly going to Scorching Dragonfire their 2-drop here. Okay. We're just gonna start filling our graveyard with stuff. We have ways to get that back, so we just want to get stuff done. Never wait for them to untap, because they could just have the answer. We're not going to trade 2 damage for 1 damage. These are the unglued lands or unhinged or something. I don't know. I forget which ones they are. Sure. We just want to keep our life total high. Next turn we'll go Experimental Overload and then Scorching Dragonfire that guy. While they're tapped out, we'll just take the opportunity to snipe one. Don't want Lofty Denial at this point. We could get back a Thrill of Possibility, but I like just getting back Scorchings. If they go for a double block, we can Scorching in response. This draft is going pretty well. Huh. I messed that up. For some reason I thought that thing was going to be able to trade. We'll block there. They can sure strike. Yeah. I messed that up in a big way. Whoopsie daisies. Major punt right there. For some reason I thought this thing was going to become a 5, not big enough to trade. Like I thought my thing was a like 4 toughness thing. But that was really bad. And I think I'm going to lose because of it. Oh, Nikolai, what did you do? Yeah, the reason I did that was because I thought that this thing was going to be a big enough to trade on its own, but it was clearly not. Big draw. Wow. I deserve to lose this game. I played it so badly. I played it like garbage. Never mind. We don't lose. So they have enough mana to pump this thing once, right? 1, 2, 3. 3-4. Oh, this could be good. We have a lot of good draws here. We're playing our lands because we do have big draw threes and we only have one thrill left. There's a huge draw. Keep that on top. And we can just scry everything we want. Another riddle form is great. So I think I'm just gonna leave this guy back in case they have Bolt Hound. Hitting them for 7 doesn't change the clock, does it? They go to 25. I lose to Shock. Let's just try to end the game as fast as we can. No! Do they have an Igneous Cur? Oh, they don't have anything nice. We'll keep that on top. So we know our bottom 3. We know one of these is Read the Tides. How many lands do we have left? We have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we know that 14, 15. So we know 2 of these are lands. One of them is a Thrill possibility. I don't really want to scry right now. Gosh darn it. Punish to the max. Yes. I wonder if I have enough power to win the game. Maze Mind Tome is good. I have to get 2 more attacks off. Thrill is good. Oh, I messed that up. I shouldn't have attacked with the Arcanist. Look at the glory of this turn we're about to have. We're returning our own creature so that on our last turn, if they somehow kill a Riddle form, we can cast a Vidalian Arcanist and counter it with our Lofty Denial to turn on our Riddle forms. Yes! Oh my gosh! What the heck was that game? Can you imagine that being a line? You're so, like, desperate to turn on your Riddle form, and you have so few cards in library, that you use Read the Tides to bounce your Vidalian Arcanist so that on your following turn, you can Lofty Denial your own Vidalian Arcanist to turn on a Riddle form to win the game. Wow, what a game! I totally blew it with my Scorching Dragonfire that one turn because I thought my experimental guy was a 4/4 instead of a 5/5, and so I was like, oh, I don't want to have to trade it for a Daybreak Charger, and then I completely botched it, so I got owned by Sure Strike, and then I was like, oh my gosh, what do I do now? And then it all worked out. Holy heck, what a game! Welcome to another round. We will keep this hand on the play. This is one of the reasons we run 17 lands, because we really just want to hit our land drops with this deck. We have great ways to use our mana. Oh, you never know, Stray. There's always some wild shenanigans going on. I think I'm going to go for Frantic Inventory here. Actually, we're just going to go Maze Mind. Because this way we can scry. Oh, what a bummer to scry that to the bottom. Oh, I meant to stop on my upkeep. Oh well. You don't get the singing between matches on YouTube. We're not going to scry with this anymore. We just want to get the full value. Land me. And we're just going to play this guy. Their deck's probably a more mid-rangey deck. I'm so glad you're enjoying it, Hala. I wonder if they'll put the counter on the Visionary so that it can attack. Oh, that worked out beautifully. Okay, now we actually will scry. Because we have a lot of card draw in our hand. And we really want to draw a mountain so we can just slag that. It's not a mountain, but it is something. Yeah, I think so, Outlaw. It's unfortunate to whiff on Mountain that turn, especially because now we get completely owned by Bazir's Acolyte putting counters, because they're just going to have 2/2s for days. But the plan was solid in theory. Because, like, if we hit the turn to slag, we're in great shape. As it is, we're currently kind of screwed. Missing on a red source there, because such is life. We're gonna have to bounce these two guys. It'll be okay, though. Truth, Antonio. This thing has protection from multicolored, so I'm really gonna have to make sure I turn to slag it. So they have feet of resistance. If they have Titanic Growth, so if they have Ranger's Guile, I'm going to want to throw this extra blocker here. If they have Titanic Growth, it'll be a 6-powered creature and it'll kill both of them anyway. So that doesn't matter. And if they have Feet of Resistance, I'll be glad that it won't make a difference. So let's just block like that. Okay, so they did have Feet of Resistance. We baited them into using it, luckily. If they have another Feat of Resistance, I'm gonna cry. I can't believe the way this game worked out. Oh my gosh. Okay, so oh my gosh, it's so brutal. That was so dumb. Oh my gosh. So we basically lost this game because we whiffed on Mountain despite scrying like 2 cards at the bottom and drawing extra cards. So that we couldn't shoot this guy the one turn that it mattered. And them having 3 Feet of Resistances. Oh my gosh. That's so dumb. Oh my gosh. Yeah. We weren't able to beat another Feat of Resistance because they could have given this protection the following turn. That's such a bummer. Oh my gosh. The tilt. Did you have fun? What? They always ask this. It's directly correlated to whether or not I win, pretty much whether or not I had fun. Oh, that was brutal. Welcome to another round. We're going to keep this on the draw. Hopefully we don't get screwed on mountains again, but you know. I think we have a couple things to do, so we'll be relatively likely to find something. On the draw, I'm much more likely to keep this sort of hand, especially with like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Oh my gosh, I'm screwed. It's not for Constructed, Johnny Rock. I don't know enough about Constructed, and that would take a lot longer. Oh, we're so lucky. Oh my gosh. We're just doing this now, because... Oh, I screwed this up in a big way. Oh, I'm so bad. Well, I didn't think that through. I could have tapped this for mana. And just got this guy into play. Oh well. Happens. Okay, we're gonna play... I think pitching Thrill makes sense. Or Thrill pitching Crash Through. Yeah, let's pitch the Crash Through. Okay. So we have recovered from the mistake, kind of. Luck greater than skill. I think you need both. Okay. Not worried about the staunch shield, mate. Just digging for another land here. Okay. I think these being 4/4s will be big enough, so we'll just play this. Okay. We're not going to use this for scrying. We don't need to. Yeah, we're going to wait. Okay, beautiful. Beautiful. So we can overload back our Dragonfire. We can also just get a Wizardry into play, which I do like. I think the longer we wait on these, the better. They're in the store. They just came out today, I think. Sure, this is all good. Hey, Hollow, welcome to the formation. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for the subscription. Let's get a warm welcome in the chat for Hala. Okay, so we could ditch that. I think this is the time to do this, though. Overload land, Dragonfire, the Chorister. Overload is night and day when you have a card to get back with it. Wow, that's a nice trade for us. Gotta be said. We can rinse and repeat next turn if we want. Okay, there's a Watchdog. Yeah, we're gonna rinse and repeat. Another Dragonfire. We wanted to play around Feat of Resistance on the Watchdog. That's why we did it this way. And there's going to be something to kill. This way, if they have feet, we can kill it in response. And they're dead. Whoo, got the win. Nice. Feels good. Welcome to another round. We will keep this hand on the play. I like Crash Through in this type of hand because you can just use it to like fuel your experimental overload, essentially. Definitely gonna lofty denial that one. I haven't looked at all of the rares how to draft, but it's definitely up there. Like, I've looked at all of them, but I haven't, like, ranked them specifically. I'm fine kind of using one to just draw an extra card. I'm a little bit flooded right now, so I just need, like, thrills and stuff like that. Well, that's okay. That's just fine. One thing that we're going to hopefully do is experimental overload back and experimental overload, because it doesn't get exiled just when it gets milled. So we'll just get like a massive creature, get back another one, rinse and repeat. Kill the Stitcher. Okay. Oh, that's a huge draw. I'm a little bit sad that we didn't mill our other experimental overload, because that was going to be a sweet little thing to pull off, but... Gosh, darn it! Wow, I can't believe the way we're gonna lose this game. I'm so sad. Was I actually supposed to wait until I had another overload? There's my thrill. Wow, we're gonna lose. Okay, there's a riddle form. They have to trade. Whew. Dodged a bullet there, kind of. Yep, we lose. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That was one of those times where I was hoping they'd mill my good card. If they just milled my Experimental Overload in the first half of my deck, or if I'd drawn the third one, oh my gosh, that would have been clutch. Oh well. Somehow we're 3-2 with this deck. We keep flooding out, or last game we flooded out, which was not ideal. Ugh. And we didn't mill our third one. Nope, no plans to do Jumpstart. I mean, we could have beaten it right there if we'd drawn better. Like, we had 10 lands in play. If we'd drawn spells instead of lands, we would have done really well. I think we're going to thrill away a Frantic Inventory, maybe. Get back a Thrill, maybe. Or Turn to Slag. We'll get back Turn to Slag. I feel like the losses we've had have been kind of fluky. We also got that really lucky win, so I'm not going to say we're super unlucky, because... Why did I do that? I guess the reason I did that is because I didn't want them to have Titanic growth. And so, yeah, they just conceded. Yeah, they're screwed. So that's why I did that. Hey, I got the win. Welcome to another round. We're going to keep it. We're still going to opt turn 1, I think. Though maybe we want to save it so we can use our Riddle form. Yeah, we'll save it. Okay. We're gonna get some nice value out of that one. Oh, we're gonna have to kill that 100%. We'll put that on top. Ooh, thank goodness. All I need is a mountain. All I need is a mountain. That was definitely not mountain. Why does that happen? Okay, maybe I got greedy by scrying the Experimental Overload to the top. If this happens and they don't have a combat trick, I will be so surprised. Yeah, they have feet of resistance. Do I have to scry my upkeep to find a mountain? They have feet of resistance, probably. I can only cast one red spell a turn anyway. There we go. We're screwed. Oh no. I hope they don't have another feat of resistance, but they probably do because they are... Oh my gosh. Oh, they don't have it. Let's go. Wow, I think we can win now, especially if we draw another mountain. We're just gonna get a frantic inventory and draw 2 cards. Because we want to draw a mountain. And we can do the other thing later. Where are the mountains? My kingdom for a mountain. I don't know why I played the island. I guess it's because I kind of have some, like... I can do some stuff. Why are there so many attempts at drawing mountain without succeeding at all? I could have attacked there, but I don't want to risk them having something to blow me out, like a rambunctious wrecks me. What if my kingdom is a mountain? I live on a mountaintop in Tennessee. Greenest land in the land of the free. Killed him a bar when he was only 3. Raised in the woods, so he knew every tree. We're gonna kill this guy. They can put a counter on their Gale Swooper. My books have not arrived yet, no. Gosh darn it. Sure. Gosh darn it. Now I have to get back my soul seer or something. Oh, thank goodness, turn to slag. My hero. I don't know if this is gonna work, but we'll hope for the best. Yes! The plan worked! We finally drew a mountain! How many cards left in our deck? 16. Finally got a second mountain. I do not need another one of those. And now we have all the mountains. Okay. We're gonna hope they don't have Setessan training. Okay, makeshift battalion. Oh, that's a good one. I do live in California. That's just a song from a TV thing. Wow, we're gonna whiff on hitting a non-creature spell, gosh darn it. Have to take action. We just need to turn Riddle Form on. Come on, deck. There we go. We got there. Wow, we top decked that turn to slag at the perfect time. Oh my gosh. Oh, right. Duh. You're right. You're right. Dang, I was thinking about that line earlier and I completely whiffed it there. Oh. See you folks in the next round. Welcome to another round. We are definitely keeping this hand because it's got good mana, and that's really all our deck needs to thrive. Ooh, a mirror match of sorts. Gonna definitely lead with the Frantic inventory rather than the Thrill, though we could Thrill away the Frantic. I think we'd rather save it for lands because we do have 4 lands already, so we could definitely end up with a couple too many. We're just going to thrill away this Teferi's Protege. We don't want to give them a target for their removal at the moment. We want to make sure we keep hitting our land drops. And, yeah, we don't really care about the Protege at all. Did I miss a land drop here? Oh, no, I didn't. Thank goodness. I think I counted my lands wrong. I thought I was on the play for a second. They have a lot of stuff up. But we're gonna have to work through it anyway. They'll be able to kill this at some point. Dragonfire? Sure. They had Capture Sphere for my weirds. We're doing that because we don't want to get wrecked by like 2 opts, which they could totally have. We'll draw 3. Do they have Lofty Denial? Probably. Maybe. Potentially. Wait, why do I have all these stops? Play land first. They are so screwed. These things are going to do so much. I'm so worried about Ugin and stuff. We'll use Soul Seer here. And Riddle Form. Now if they have Ugin, they -2 and Soul Seer can take it out. Okay. Oh, they are not gonna like what's about to happen. Oh, no they will not. I'm glad we waited on these overloads until they were completely massive and game winning. We'll get Thrill a possibility, I think. We're gonna play the Arcanist, and then we're just gonna hold up the Thrill and use it on our turn so we can turn on Riddle Form again. I guess I could have gotten back the Read the Tides, but I think I have a lot to do with my mana. Similar reason on this Frantic Inventory. Boom! They didn't cast a creature that entire game. Did they? Oh no, they cast 1 and we killed it. That was so weird. Got the win. This is for all the marbles. We're 6-2. We're going to keep this hand. We have a lot of draws at a mountain. These are the types of games we have lost. Oh, first try. I love it. You love to see it, chat. You love to see it. Wizardry is going to be good here. Probably going to Frantic Inventory here. We don't need a Thrill yet. We have the lands we need. This kills a lot of their 4-drops, like Dilophosaur, Mauler. And if they play a 5-drop, we can Lofty Denial. Okay, we're just going to Thrill away this Teferi's Protege, I think. Okay, we're going to... Just going to kill that. We don't care about this at all. Going to end step the Wizardry. They were in the store today, so I got them free corn. I think they're from Unhinged or something. Sure. There's our mountain. We'll take whatever damage and then we'll Soul Sear this on our next turn. We're just gonna get our goblins out. Okay, so we have Thrill. We'll play this guy. I think we're gonna try and Soul Sear this thing. They could have Titanic, which would suck, but we can then block it at least. That worked out, unless they kill one, in which case, sure, they traded a removal spell, but I think that worked. And then they can ping us. We do have our Maze Mind Tome to gain us some life, which is nice. Wow, they discarded a Pteranodon. Oh, that was a huge draw. Draw 3. We just need our Overload to kill this zombie and then we're all good. Or we'll just do that now. We're going to protect our life total. We don't want to take 2 for no reason when we're in such a good spot. Oh, just a casual 8-8, you know. No big deal. Well. If it isn't a massive overload swinging in for the win, just how we drew it up. I think I was going to go for a bit of a sear on the vampire myself, Yadaro Master. Maybe, I guess there's not a combat trick that plays around one but not the other. Yeah, I probably was going to go for Scorched. But yeah, got those max wins with this insane blue-red deck featuring 3 experimental overloads. I think the deciding point of this draft that really shaped it was when I took the Scorching Dragonfire over the experimental overload and then wheeled the overload. Because I think that the second Scorching Dragonfire was incredible in this draft, really did a ton of work, and then obviously the overloads were fantastic in our 17-spell deck. So this was the deck. I really do hope you enjoyed it. If you were watching this on YouTube, in the comment section down below, leave hashtag massive overload to let me know you made it all the way to the end of the video, because those were the biggest weirds I've ever seen. Or hashtag massive weirds, because that makes a lot more sense, because they were weirds. The overloads themselves always cost 4. So hashtag massive weird to let me know you made it all the way to the end. The draft was pretty close. A lot of those games are really close. We had that insane top deck battle against the red-white deck that we managed to win with that crucial experimental overload. And you can also check out the Twitch stream at twitch.tv/NicolaiBolas. Remember to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and if you have any other questions or feedback, leave those in the comment section as well. You can also support me directly via the Patreon, patreon.com/NicolaiBolas, and check out the Discord server. It's free to join and talk about all things Magic in the Discord server. And I will post a link to that in the description and pinned comment. That is going to do it for this video. Remember, hashtag massive weird to let me know you made it all the way to the end, and I will talk to you next time.